I've made the only correct tier list for all the maps inside XDEFIANT, and if you disagree with me, well, you're wrong. No, but in all seriousness, this is going to be a very opinionated tier list, so if you guys agree or disagree with any of my rankings, definitely let me know down below, without ripping me to shreds, of course. Alright, but getting straight into it, we're going to be starting off strong with the map Times Square, and when I say starting off strong, I mean towards the bottom of the list. It's definitely not a map that I'll back out of every single game, but definitely not one of my favorites. As an SMG player myself, this map just really holds you to using all the long-range guns. On the second point, you are able to use some SMGs, but other than that, you're really stuck using assault rifles, snipers, and long-range guns. But even with the long-range gun, this map, it just still doesn't play the best, especially compared to the other escort and zone control maps. This one is definitely towards the bottom. So for the ranking, we're going to put this guy in I'd rather not. Alright, next up we have Pleo, and I don't know about you guys, but this is definitely one of my favorite maps in the game. I don't know if it's good enough to be a map of all time, but on multiple modes, it plays really good. On Domination, I'm not too big of a fan, so for that reason, definitely not a map of all time, but on Occupy, Team Deathmatch, Hot Shot, maybe not Capture the Flag, but let's be real. Does Capture the Flag play good on any map? But overall, this is a really solid map. It is a little bit of a smaller map, but still has some long-range engagement, so it has the best of both worlds. If you want to use an SMG or an assault rifle, really any gun in the game will thrive on this map. It has some good flank routes, has some good spawns. Overall, definitely a top-tier map. For now, we're going to put it in multi-mode favorites, and honestly, it'll probably land towards the top. Alright, next up, we are going to have a pretty hot take here with Dumbo. Now, I know it is definitely not a fan favorite on this one, but I'm telling you guys, it actually plays pretty good on non-objective modes. Believe it or not, Team Deathmatch, and I'm sure a Hot Shot is probably the same. This map plays pretty damn good. It is definitely one of my favorites for Team Deathmatch. There's tons of space on the map. Obviously, it is a little bit of a bigger map, so finding a lot of kills can be tough, but it's really easy to play your life and outplay your opponents, which I'm a big fan of. Going on streaks on this map is just a lot easier, especially because it's just a lot more of a predictable map compared to something like Arena or really any other small map in the game. On this map, the spawns are super readable. For the most part, if you hold the top area and hold those power positions, you can really just farm, and this map, I'm a big fan of. So I'm going to put this guy all the way at the top of single mode favorites. Alright, next up we have the map Daytona, and in my opinion, this is easily the best escort and zone control map in the game. It was added into Season 1, and it was definitely a great addition. Once this map came out, honestly, I could not get out of the 24/7 playlist. It was a ton of fun. Obviously, it is super vibrant, so that helps a lot with the aesthetic, but it really does play super good, whether you're on offense or defense. It's not favored on one side, so I'm a big fan of it. So for those reasons, we're going to put this guy in multi-mode favorites. Like I said, when it comes to linear maps, this guy is definitely my favorite. Alright, next up we have Rockefeller, and after some thinking about it, I think this is going to be the first map we put in maps of all time. And I know that might be a hot take. I know some people absolutely hate this map, but for me, when I think of XDEFIANT, I think of Rockefeller, and that's exactly what this tier is for. When you think of XDEFIANT, what are the maps you think of? In my opinion, Rockefeller is a great map. Obviously, getting high kills is nice, but it really does play good with the objectives, and the spawns, believe it or not, are pretty damn good, especially when you look at some other small maps in other games. We won't name names, but compared to those, Rockefeller is top tier. Obviously, it can get sweaty sometimes, especially in ranked. I get that map out of ranked, but when it comes to pubs, using any gun in the game, I've gotten my first ever nuke with the sniper on this map. Believe it or not, there's proof to back it up. It's crazy, man. I mean, like I said, any gun in the game, you can succeed on this map. It's a ton of fun. So for those reasons, this is definitely going to be the first map we put in maps of all time. And honestly, there might not be any more, but I have a feeling there might be one more. Alright, next up we have Clubhouse. And if any of you guys have been in my streams or in the Discord, you know this is a little bit of an inside joke on the channel. Some people hate it, and some people like me, they absolutely love it. I absolutely love this map. Obviously, playing it from Rainbow Six, it was very familiar, but they really did make it good in this game, and honestly, I was super surprised. With it coming from a tactical shooter, I was not expecting it to be a good map, but after playing it, it is definitely one of my favorites. It is easily one of my favorite maps when it comes to Team Deathmatch, and when it comes to Occupy, definitely one of the best maps for that as well. So with that being said, we're going to put this guy in multi-mode favorites, and for bias purposes only, and to piss a few people off, we're going to put it above Pleo. This map, it's insane. I love it, man. Alright, next up we have Waterfront, and this is one of the newest maps added to Season 2. Next up we also have Air and Space, which was just added, so don't worry about that. That is coming soon. But at first, this map was definitely towards the bottom of the list. I know it was towards the bottom for a lot of you guys, and it might still be down there, but after some time playing it and learning the map, playing on multiple modes, it is genuinely a really good map. When it comes to Search and Destroy, in my opinion, it is the best map in the game for that mode. Occupy plays great, Domination's decent, Team Deathmatch and Hotshot is really where it's not at. Those modes just play terrible on it. And for me being a Team Deathmatch guy, that's really where I left off a bad taste in my mouth. But when you are playing Search and Destroy, when you are playing Occupy, it is genuinely a great map. For those reasons, I feel like we have to put it in multi-mode favorites, although it's probably going to end towards the bottom. Alright, next up we have Atta Heights, and I'll be honest, this is definitely just not one of my favorite maps. When it comes to sniping, definitely the best map for sniping, but other than that, honestly, I'm not too big of a fan. Domination, I absolutely hate. Having to play in the bottom of the middle area is just terrible. I'm not a fan of it. Occupy, it plays decent, and Team Deathmatch, it's alright, but when you're using a sniper, it's really the only time it's good. Honestly, I think we're going to leave it in just it's a map. Like I said, for me, when I'm sniping, it's fun. Other than that, not too big of a fan. Alright, next up we have Air and Space, and this map literally just came out a few days ago, so it is still super fresh in my mind. I think we still have a 24/7 playlist on it, so I'm going to check it out a little bit later, and hopefully my opinion will change on it, because right now, it's definitely not towards the top. There's a lot of potential for it to grow, but there's just a ton of head glitches. Right now, the map, I think I need to learn a little bit more, learn the power positions, and learn the rotations, all that stuff. But the theater or planetarium room, whatever it is, that room, it's a living hell. I hate fighting in there, I hate being in there. Looking up in the sky, it's pretty nice, but other than that, get me out of there. The rest of the map is pretty good. For snipers especially, if you're a sniper, you are going to love this map. But overall, definitely not one of my favorites. It's definitely not a bad map, as really none of the maps in XDefiant are really bad maps. I mean, one of them is. But other than that, pretty much all of them are really solid. For the ranking, I'm debating towards the top of It's a Map or the bottom of single mode favorites. I will say it does have a lot of potential to grow. So for that reason, I think we're going to leave it at the bottom of single mode favorites. Alright, next up we have Meltdown, and this is another one of the maps in Escort and Zone Control that I'm just not too big of a fan of. Whether you're on offense or defense, the first point is absolutely terrible, and the third point, similar to Times Square, I'm just not too big of a fan of. The second points aren't bad, but really you need all of them to be good for it to be a good map. For those reasons, we're going to keep it quick, and we're going to put the Sky, and I'd rather not. Next up, we have Echelon HQ, and honestly, for me, this might be a little bit of a hot take, but I really enjoy this map. It is super claustrophobic, and honestly, I love that. As an SMG player myself, I can't ask for anything more, except when shotguns are out. That obviously sucks, but overall, this is a really good map. I feel like it's very easy to learn since it's almost symmetrical on both sides, especially in the middle. It's pretty much the same thing. So it's an easy map to learn, it's an easy map to play. Overall, it's a solid map. Whether you're playing Team Deathmatch, Domination, Occupy, even Search and Destroy, it's really solid. For all those reasons, we're going to put this guy in multi-mode favorites, and honestly, right above Daytona. I know that might be a little bit of a hot take, so if you guys disagree, definitely let me know down in the comments. Alright, next up we have Liberty, and this one, I'm kind of in the middle on it, honestly. It's kind of just a map. It's nothing crazy. Sometimes it's good, sometimes not so much. It plays alright, but honestly, I'm not too big of a fan of it. For those reasons, we're going to put it in It's a Map and call it a day. Alright, moving on, we have Mayday, and this map, it's not great. I'm sure if you guys have been on the bad side of it, where you're just getting spawn trapped over and over again, it's hell. You've probably backed out before. I probably have too. It's not fun. Obviously, when you're on the side of doing the spawn trapping, it's a whole lot of fun, but the whole map is really just a spawn trap simulator. It's really not the best map, and honestly, on any mode, not the greatest. The best mode for it is probably Occupy just because the spawns flip the most on it, but even then, the points aren't the best. So for those reasons, we're going to put it in I'd rather not. It's not a map that I would back out of, but definitely not a great one. Alright, moving on, I said it before. I think this is the next map we're putting in maps of all time. Noodleplex, it's a great map, man. I don't know about you guys, but every time I play this map, I really enjoy it. No matter the mode, it is a ton of fun. Whether you're using an assault rifle or an SMG, or really any gun in the game, you can get away with it on Noodleplex. The map caters to any playstyle, and for that reason, it's a map of all time. When I think of XDefiant, I think of Noodleplex. Obviously, it comes from Watch Dogs, so no hate from the Watch Dogs community. Obviously, this is their baby, but I'm glad that they put it into XDefiant because it is a masterpiece. Alright, moving on, we have Emporium, and this is the map. Just let me know when the game's over, man. I'm backing out every single time. I don't even have time for this map anymore, man. It is easily the worst map in XDefiant, no matter the mode. Maybe Search and Destroy plays decent, but honestly, I don't even think I've played it. Team Deathmatch, Hardpoint, it's all terrible. It's Domination, just respawn, just delete it, get it out. It's from The Division. The Division, do better. Alright, next up, and getting towards the end of our list, we have Zoo, and this map is definitely in the middle when it comes to linear maps. At times, I'm a big fan of it, at other times, not so much. I will say, I do enjoy it a little bit more on Zone Control than I do on Escort, but overall, the points and the spawns, the whole map is just a whole lot better when it comes to maps like Times Square and Meltdown. For those reasons, we're probably going to put it in single map favorites. Like I said, somewhere in the middle, but definitely not one of the best, or one of the worst. Alright, moving on to our last linear map in XDefiant, we have Midway, and this map is definitely one of my favorites when it comes to linear maps. Overall, all the points are really solid. The last point can be a little bit tough to attack sometimes, but overall, the first point, second point, really the whole map, it plays really good. There's solid flank routes, there's solid little secret spots like under the fireplace. Overall, I really enjoy this map. Whether it's on Zone Control or Escort, it really does play good on both modes. For those reasons, we're going to put it in multi-mode favorites, probably under Daytona. Like I said, Daytona is definitely my favorite when it comes to linear maps. But definitely let me know down below what you guys' favorite maps are when it comes to Zone Control and Escort. Alright, getting down to our last two, we have Showtime and Arena. First, we have Showtime, and this map is definitely a really solid map. Not one of my favorites, but solid overall. With long-range encounters down the middle for snipers, and some more tighter spots on the side, this map is really solid overall. I will say it's probably my least favorite when it comes to the small maps like Rockefeller, Echelon, and Arena, but it's close right under. It's a really good map, and there's tons of potential for high kills, so for those reasons, we're going to put it in multi-mode favorites, probably right above Waterfront, towards the bottom. Alright, and last but not least, we have Arena. And like I was just saying, I do like this guy a little bit more than Showtime, but just a little bit more. Honestly, it's not one of my favorite maps. I used to like it a lot more, but Rockefeller really took that spot when it comes to small maps. Overall, the spawns are super predictable, which is nice, so I'm a fan of that. Hardpoint, Domination, Team Deathmatch, really a bunch of modes play good. For the ranking, I'm not really sure. Honestly, it's a two-way tie between Echelon and Arena. Really, it can go either way. Both the maps are really solid, and they're really just small maps. Gotta love them. Oh no, I have to pick one for the top 5 though. You know what? Neither. Daytona. Daytona's in the top 5. Like I said, it is my favorite map when it comes to linear modes. Honestly, it plays really good. It's super vibrant and it's easy to play. I really enjoy that map. For the top 5, Rockefeller, Needleplex, Clubhouse, Pueblito, and Daytona, in that order. Like I said, definitely let me know what you guys' favorite maps are. This tier list is public if you guys want to try it out. I'll leave it somewhere down in the comments or the description, so feel free to try it and leave the pictures up in the Discord. I'd love to go through them all and make fun of you for being wrong. Other than that though, guys, that is the end of this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed and didn't rip me to shreds down in the comments. Make sure to leave a like if you haven't already, and subscribe if you're new. Keep an eye out for factions and an abilities tier list soon, and other than that, we got streams on the weekend at 3 p.m. Eastern time, so I hope to see some of you guys there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.